Russian officials are now looking at cryptocurrency as a way to get around financial sanctions.
Crypto on its platform.
Cryptocurrency.
Crypto credit.
Crypto regulate. How much crypto belongs?
Cryptocurrency is becoming more and more talked about throughout the world. But in order to understand why the government hates crypto, we need to understand just how broken our current financial system is.
Sectors of America's financial system are at risk of shutting down.
Banks were taking advantage of loans that were meant for common people.
What will happen to the assets that are left?
It is definitely a very, very difficult time, and it's not going to get better.
The US and most of the world use fiat, a government-issued currency that isn't backed by anything. The issue with this is that the government can just print endless amounts of money whenever they want. Imagine you're a waiter standing on top of tables every 30 minutes to announce new menu prices. This is how bad inflation was for Germany in World War II after printing so much money that the value of 100,000 marks was equal to $1. One man even used his money as wallpaper because it was more affordable than buying an actual roll. So why is this important? According to the Federal Reserve System, 80% of all US dollars have been printed in the last 2 years.
Just print what you need so you get what you want.
That's one of the most catastrophic mistakes.
Inflation is running well above our 2% longer run.
Our buying power is becoming less and less because the government has created a system where they have total control of our money. When you get a paycheck or send your family money or buy literally anything, those transactions are processed through banks and they collect massive amounts of transaction fees. Not only do they record every single transaction ever made, they have the power to create money out of thin air in the form of loans that are backed by the central banking system. In the early 2000s, banks figured out that they could make an insane amount of money by giving outrageous loans to hundreds of thousands of people who could only afford to pay the interest. This central form of banking is what caused the housing market crash of 2008.
Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old firm, filed for bankruptcy.
This is the fifth time we've seen this movie.
Bad mortgage investments.
Government bailout, bankruptcy court.
Banks were bailed out by the government while people lost their homes, lost their lives because our financial system failed, until now. After the 2008 housing crash, Bitcoin was designed as a peer-to-peer transaction system to replace central banks and the current financial system. Cryptocurrencies are built on decentralized platforms, meaning the system isn't controlled by one power like the Federal Reserve or central banks. Rather, they're controlled by a large network of computers that verify transactions through blockchain technology. Okay, I may have lost you at blockchain technology, but let me explain. You have a direct deposit from your employer. This transaction has 3 steps, from your employer, through the network, and into your digital wallet. Each step creates its own block, and these blocks link securely together to prevent any block from being altered or added. These blocks are verified and then added to the blockchain. It's irreversible, naturally tamper-proof, and immutable. And the best part is, this process is instant. No third-party authority to hold the money for days or weeks with insane transaction fees. Loans will be peer-to-peer, allowing the community to transact with one another through a verified blockchain without the need to do business with banks altogether. This is exactly how crypto threatens our current financial system by essentially rendering banks useless as an intermediary in the transaction verification process. Central banks are no longer the sole entity controlling our financial system, and it scares the hell out of them. This is why governments across the globe are banning cryptocurrency. Central banks around the world are even creating their own cryptocurrencies in fears that Bitcoin and other currencies are going to become the conglomerate system. Right now, behind the scenes, a revolutionary change to our financial infrastructure is taking place. The way that we see and use money is about to change forever.